Now I know what you're thinking. I need a haircut. Plug and play games. YouTubers have never talked about these before. Now I know, nobody on the internet has ever talked about plug and play games before, but if you're unaware, plug and play games are these little devices that would plug directly into your TV and you just play them. There's no external power source, there's no games, everything's on this device. Plug and play games usually fall into one of three categories. Either it's a compilation of existing games that you didn't really have any other way of playing, or you have those licensed out plug and play games with original games that were not good. They were never good. And lastly, you have what can only be described as garbage filled up with stolen ROMs that plays about 1 million games and none of them well. Are you telling me this penguin isn't legit? No, of course not. And every household in America has been scammed by these one time or another. It happened with me. Parents are walking down the mall. It's Christmas time. You know their son plays video games. And what's this? A system that plays every game? And it's cheap? Holy shit. Well, sign me up. That's right, gaming has never, ever been as streamlined as it was then. So nowadays you can buy DS carts that are just like loaded with 1 million games that may not be completely legal. Or you can buy Soulja Boy's failed console or Soulja Boy's other failed console, but it's Soulja Boy's, you know? He made it. He made it himself. Back in the day, we had shitty plug-and-play systems with one of these. Now this bad boy is modeled after a Famicom cartridge, and there's literally nothing in it. It's empty. Somehow, 20 years after the Famicom came out, they managed to fit 111 games on one cartridge? That's insane! And what's even better is that it can only be played on this. And they have Donkey Kong 64. They have it, right? So unfortunately, no. This Famicom cartridge can't play Donkey Kong 64, and neither can this fucking penguin. That's right, everybody. I too was a victim. The Power Games system, boasting high-tech controller and wireless telecontrol. And these guys, one Christmas my parents bought me this penguin system, and you know, it actually was a lot of fun. I loved playing Contra all the time. The 30 lives cheat was like magic to me. I had vivid memories of licking this little port on the controller because it gave you that same sensation as like a 9-volt battery. This port is actually where you plug the second player controller into. So the controller's wireless, but yeah, your little brother gets the the Mad Catz controller while you get this Chad of a boomerang. And I know it's surprising, but a console with the name Power Games actually does not scream quality. Yeah, that's sturdy. You just pop the cartridge in and it's full of about 1 billion games. I don't think I've played a quarter of them in my life. But as I said before, you just plug the cartridge in, turn her on, and you're ready to play a plethora of amazing games such as Teenage Mutant, Ninja 3, Aladdin 3, Contra 8, Squoon, Ninja Gaiden, Door, Milk Nuts, or is it Nuts and Milk, and Mr. Mary. It's just Mario Bros. Also, can we talk about how Teenage Mutant is just a skateboarding game? I loved playing Galaga. If Galaga for some reason was like, oh, this is the skilled arcade game, it's Galaga, I gotta get the 2 ships. And when I saw Galaxian on there, I was like, no fucking way. Galaga 2! Which it's not exactly Galaga 2, but it's kind of Galaga 2. I didn't play it as much as Galaga, but when I saw it, I shit my pants. And yeah, you can see even classics like Duck Hunt or Hogan's Alley, which you can't really play on TVs nowadays. You have to have an old CRT TV. So unfortunately, right now, I can't show you gameplay of that. But what I can show you is the peripheral that the Power Games came with. So the NES had the NES Zapper. The Super Nintendo had their own blaster. The Power Games has a gun. That's right. There's no sugarcoating this one. This is just a gun. There's no funny little names on it. There's no orange tip. It's just a gun. Somebody broke into my home. Quick, grab a weapon. In its defense, it does have a really satisfying click when you pull the trigger. But like, I wonder just how many people, how many families were scammed by these things that just didn't know that it's bootleg garbage. This is bad. Now, a lot of times it's either form or function, and you can't win them all. Sure, it has a whole bunch of classics. It does. I won't disagree with that. It has a lot of games on it. Is it morally right to have these games? No. Does it at least deliver a high quality gaming experience? No, but they're there. And it really speaks to the quality of these things because this actually isn't my first power games. This is my second. One day when I was a wee lad, I took a vacation to my great-grandparents' home and plugged in the power game, and it never turned on again. It was dead. I don't know what happened, but it was dead. Which was very upsetting to me because I really liked playing those old games. We used to have an NES. My parents got rid of it. So this was the closest thing I had. So I did end up buying another one on eBay. I finally found what it was called. I finally found the product. I found the exact same one. This one's missing a foot, but I got it. And when it came in the mail, it didn't have a power adapter, but it did have some bonus gifts. It had some religious passages and a pair of scissors. Huh? Yes! I hit the jackpot with that. The scissors were big. I don't have either of them anymore, unfortunately. I know. I should have been thankful for the gifts that they were given. It was so gracious of them to include a pair of scissors that were really bad, but I had to buy another power adapter, which was fine because it was like $5, but it would have been nice to have that instead of the scissors. And there are thousands of these little guys floating around. It's less common now. Nowadays, you can get these little things that look like fucking PS5s that actually can play Donkey Kong 64. But back in the day, you just had to like come across these, and nobody knew about them. So of course you're gonna buy them. You mean I can get 111 games in one? That's insane. But you know what? As good as it sounds, they're actually not as good as some of the other plug and plays you can get. I mentioned earlier, there's like collection plug and plays, like this Namco one. I would much rather have something like this than that penguin that doesn't work. It was so hard for me to even record this playing because it would barely turn on. It would barely show video. Sometimes it didn't have sound. It's like almost unplayable. They weren't built to last. This at least still works. Now, funny enough, technically this Miss Pac-Man Namco game collection isn't technically mine. Funny enough, it's my roommate's. In a roundabout way, it came back into his hands because what had happened was about 15 years ago, he brought it over to a mutual friend's house that we both had. Left it there. That friend brought it to my house and left it there. And then it was mine for the next 10 years until he and I moved in together randomly. And so now it's back in his hands. I didn't even know it was his until until we were moving in. And then it was like, oh shit, is that mine? It's like, no way. But I played the shit out of this thing. This thing still works. This still works great. This had no problems. This is what a quality plug and play should be. It's got many games on it. Pole Position, Galaga, like I said, Miss Pac-Man, Xevious, Mappy, Rally X, and Bosnian. These plug and plays were actually quality. And it's a great way to play some old arcade games all in one little piece. It's no biggie. You don't have to like keep buying it next time you get a fucking new console. Everything's here. It's on its own console. You don't have to buy it on the Wii. You don't have to buy it on the Wii U. You don't have to buy it on the Switch. It's here. And it plays phenomenally. It's perfect. The ports were perfect. This is the best. It doesn't have Galaxian, but I'll give it a pass because it has twist controls. That's right. How do you play a driving game with just one joystick? You like that? Even though it says it right on the joystick, I had no idea how to play pole position. This was my nightmare. I would move the joystick. Sometimes I would get like the tiniest turn and I had no idea why. Well, it turns out for the driving game, you don't have a wheel, you just twist the joystick. You twist it. No, are you insane? How is that even possible? That technology is cutting edge. It's never been used again. Never. They don't use it. Now, you can use the twist controls for the other games, but they weren't built for it, so it's bad. But pole position, you actually have pressure-sensitive steering. That means that you have full control of how far you turn. And it's actually kind of intuitive. That being said, pole position still has that old arcade difficulty. You can't, this turn, you have to slow down. You almost have to slow down to a stop. And even just placing is almost impossible. I mean, you can do it, but good luck winning the next race. This plug and play is great. I am a big fan of Miss Pac-Man, God rest her soul, and it's probably the perfect collection. I'm gonna be honest. There are more games that could be on there. Looking at you, Galaxian. But if you only had to pick so many, I'm not mad. And the last kind of plug and plays I want to talk about are the licensed plug and play systems. You all know the SpongeBob one. You play with his fucking nose. These had original licensed games, and they were bad. My friend Jacob used to have the SpongeBob one. We played it maybe twice. Played all the games one time. A couple days later, we came back. We played all the games again, and then we played the PS2 instead. These are almost never worth playing. Unfortunately, I don't have a physical one of the SpongeBob anymore, but I mean, you see it. There's the picture right there. They tried making it again, I think, and it was just even worse. I don't know. The only game that's close to being redeemable, I believe, are the Spider-Man ones. I hear the Spider-Man games are pretty good, but yeah, all of the licensed plug and plays were just garbage. They were just hot garbage. That was even more of a scam than the fucking Penguin. But you do have to sell your soul to it. Luckily, a lot of flat screen TVs, you can still play these on. A lot of them still have the AV cables, but it is better to play them on an original CRT TV. I don't have mine here right now because I don't have the space, but you can get an adapter. That's what I had to do to record the footage anyways. So you can get a cheap AV to HDMI adapter for like 10 bucks and it's perfect. You can't use the gun, but I think it's okay. But as far as I know, nowadays, plug and play systems aren't common at all. I don't think you even can come across them unless you're specifically looking for something like that. And it's all just the scam ones anyways. They don't really make original plug and play consoles anymore because it's not, the market's just not there. And they were bad, but the market's just not there anymore. Why would you make a plug and play when you can just port the game on another system and sell it for twice as much? But I do prefer having physical media for that kind of thing, just because I don't know, it's nice to have this. Plus, if there's ever a server Armageddon, you know, you don't truly own your digital media anymore. At least they can't take away my Miss Pac-Man. But what do you guys think? You had any plug and play consoles that were different from any of the ones that I talked about? Because there was an epidemic. I feel like there was like the Tiger handhelds epidemic and then the plug and play epidemic. And now it's just like mobile ads where the girl farts on the guy's face and turns into a zombie. And then you have to pull the thing to drop the lava on the guy. And none of the games actually play like the ads. But I am curious what other plug and plays there are out there. I know that there's like a fake Wii one where the motion controls don't like actually work. They're not real motion controls. It's just like it detects if it's moving. But I have played one of those once. I went to somebody's house that had one and I was like, I'm bored. What can I do? Oh, let me just play this fake Wii game. And like even then I knew like this is not it. Come on, man. But I do get for some people that's all they have. And this is not to make fun of those people. It's just to make fun of that product because they knew what they were doing. I just wanted to share a little piece of my history that I thought was interesting with this fucking abomination of a device that had a chokehold on me for so long, now pretty much only existing in the deepest crevices of my brain. I just thought it was so interesting that something that looks like this can come with this. But I am curious to hear about your stories. How did you come across something like this? What kind of games did you play? And if you feel like sharing, comment down below. Let me know. I'll respond. I love responding to comments. That's my plug and play video. That's my rite of passage plug and play video. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, subscribe. I'm trying to make more videos like this. If you haven't, go watch the Haunting Ground video or the Bill Olbert video. Those were both very fun videos to deep dive into and talk about. I also stream every once in a while, usually on Wednesday evenings. My most recent one was playing Ding Dong's Summer Resort game. That was just a funny, fun little blast. If you subscribe, keep the bell on, you'll know when I'm live. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you next time.